Welcome back to the REDX Podcast. I am your host today, Hannah Rabe. We have two special guests joining us. Today's guests are Jasmine Lopez and Cam Lovelace joining us. Jazz is a business leader and a systems expert. Her business is Scalable USA, where she helps real estate professionals build efficient, scalable businesses through better operations and follow-up systems. Cam is a realtor with Real Brokerage who has built his business around relationships, proven systems, and exceptional customer service. Today, they're joining us to share how operational excellence and a client-first mindset can help real estate professionals grow stronger and more sustainable businesses. Welcome to the REDX Podcast.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Absolutely. So today, we're going to talk a little bit about how REDX data and an ISA support system can really help you create a predictable listing business. So we'll talk about how REDX provides the opportunity, how a business like Jazz and Scalable, what she's built, really builds and nurtures a pipeline, whether it's through an ISA or specific intentional follow-up, so more operational support. And then we're going to have Cam here talking about how he converts those opportunities into listings. While he's chosen to go this model so that he can continue to scale, we want to really explore that and show why this conversation is so important to have. So today, Cam, we're going to start with your story. You were, an agent. I think you have been in business about 10 years. Tell us previous to real estate, kind of what your background was.
Yeah. Well, first, thanks for having me. I'm glad to be here. But I would say, so I play college basketball. I've been an athlete my whole life, so I felt like that kind of transitioned over pretty well to the business world. One of my coaches told me when the season was over, my senior year in college, he's like, man, you need to go to do two things. You need to be a lawyer or you need to go in sales. And I thought, well, I'm done with school, so I'm going with sales. So I went down to Team Chevrolet, and great people. I worked there for several years, did car sales, management, all those things. And then I transitioned into the insurance world where I started at State Farm. We did that for a year, and needless to say, we set some records there, with auto and home sales. So me and my buddy Kevin, we still talk about that to this day. So I wanted to do my own thing from there. I went independent. I had a business partner. I like the insurance world, but to me, it was kind of boring. Then I had a good friend of mine tell me, hey, maybe you should try this real estate thing out. So 8-9 years later, here we are, and rocking and rolling the best that we can. But always been in sales, never had a job interview, always kind of worked for myself. And, I think that everything worked out the way it should so far.
Very cool transition. Tell me about the beginning of real estate. What happened in your first year?
Okay, so I was sitting on the couch. I didn't know I got my real estate license like everybody else. It's like, what do you do now, right? You got past this test. You studied for it. I lost 15 pounds, right, stressing out. And we got through it, got through the test the first time, thankfully. And then I was sitting on the couch, and my wife was like, what do you think about this guy? So it was a commercial for a local realtor in town. He had a pretty big team. Lots of, marketplace presence and different things of that nature. So I went and met with him. I was there for obviously a few years, but the first year, I would say the first full fiscal year, right? I might've came in and learned some stuff for 3 or 4 months, but my first full 12 months, we had all types of stuff, Zillow, Realtor.com, all these different things, which are great products, by the way. But that also meant that I was chasing my tail every weekend. And I was gone and late nights showing houses. And, I was fortunate because I was able to do 52 deals my first year on the team, which was great. But I also didn't have a life, made really good money, but I also had to give half of it away. So after doing that for a while, I got to the point to where I was like, man, I got to figure out this listing side. Like, why is this guy, the owner, why does he only work listings and we work buyers? And I started thinking, because he wants a life. So I realized we got to find some listings. So that's where I transitioned from the team model to a solo model. And when I did that, I only started focusing on listings. And now I would like to say I have some sort of life, right? I'm not chasing, people around all weekend and all these things.
I love that. Work-life balance is so important. So I'm glad you realized that early on. You really just want to take control of your business and make more money. So you did that. You stayed in that model for a few years as a listing agent. Your story, I'm sure, is one that Jazz hears a lot. Jazz, tell us the main pain point when you met Cam. What was he experiencing? Because he was a high producer. He was killing it. Where did you need to come and step in?
So I think that most agents that come, just like Cam, they understand the business. They're visionaries. They're true entrepreneurs that know that if they don't innovate, they don't delegate, they're not going to grow. And on top of that is consistency, right? You're not able to be consistent, and prospecting is a part of a business. It has to be consistent. And so a lot of agents come to me just missing that piece, as well as the follow-up. So a lot of times we'll open their database and there's tons of appointments that just pop out because they haven't followed up. And they realize, like, okay, number one, I need to follow up, but number two, who's doing the prospecting for me? And so when Cam came, he was like, listen, I'm doing well, but I know I can do better if I can just put in an ISA to help me out. And so, it's that easy. We were able to just, attach our ISA, Helen, and off we went.
I love that. So yeah, I remember when we had talked, Cam, you were making like 80 to 120 calls a day yourself, working on the relationship side and the nurture. Follow-up was the struggle for sure. It felt like you just hit a ceiling there. So let's go back to that for a second, Jazz. So how do you scale when you really can be only in one place? So you talked about Helen, who now is Cam's right hand in prospecting. But tell us about that. So how do we keep Cam focused on what he's doing, and where do you and Helen come in to help support?
Yeah. So one of the things I always tell agents is we don't want them to do much. This is done for you from the beginning, from sorting the data. Data is a big piece of it, because a lot of agents think, all right, let me just get the REDX, subscription, and off we go. You really have to think about your market. You have to think about your location. There may be specifics. We get agents that live in a very high absentee owner, or like our Airbnb for rent by owner type of locations that we need to do more calls of that lead type. So the strategy is really important, and I think that's where we assist. In fact, the biggest piece and the biggest pain point for a lot of agents is they come and they're like, oh, okay, I have to train an ISA. I have to get them started. Absolutely not. Our ISAs are real estate trained. They have experience. You're not spending 1 hour training anybody. Plus, we have the operations team that takes care of accountability, takes care of the dialer, listening to the recordings, giving feedback. One of the things about an ISA is you can't let them work on their own. They have to know they're being held accountable to the number of dials, to how many appointments, to what data we're looking at. We have a data manager that manages all of that. So it's not just let me hire an ISA. It's an ISA, an operations team, a strategist, and we all come together to work together for the good of the sales pipeline for the agent.
That's a lot going on. Okay, so the goal was never to replace Cam. It was to multiply him and support so that he can continue doing what he's doing, and you're in the background just multiplying that, keeping it going, adding more opportunity to his plate. Tell me why REDX? We've had a relationship with Scalable for a long time, for many years. Tell me why the REDX data matters to your team and your efforts.
Well, the one thing that we find by using REDX data is that those that use it are scaling their businesses. We know, because we work with over 90 agents across the country, we know the data that works and we know the data that doesn't work. A lot of our agents come to me and they ask me, like, who should I hire for this? Who should I buy leads from for that? And we're always recommending REDX because that's where we get our appointments from. I mean, are there going to be some wrong numbers? Are there going to be people not picking up? In the industry-wide, people who do cold calling, they know, right? The average is 80 to 90% of calls don't get picked up, but that's where the consistency comes in. That's where we come in. The calls can't just be made one day a week for 2 hours, and then the agent says, oh, nobody picked up, this data's no good. That's not the way it works. And in fact, you don't only use the data for calls, right? You have to learn how to do that marketing, how to do those custom audience retargeting campaigns, how to use that data for circle prospecting, for sending out mailers, right? So there's ways to use data in different ways. In fact, with AI now, you can even stack it to take a look at it. There's so much that can be done with this data. We love it. And so that's why, Cam is doing so well with our program. And we have more agents that I'd love to bring to your podcast to show that REDX data does work if you work it.
Yeah, totally. Okay, Cam, let's talk about this for a little bit. So I know that you still have all your initiatives outside of what's going on at Scalable. Tell me a little bit about what your flow looks like and what you handle versus what Scalable handles in your business.
Okay, yeah. So the business relationship that I have with Scalable is I pretty much I get a lead in my CRM. I use Follow Up Boss, and so my ISA, her name's Helen. She gets a lead that she's vetted out, whether it be somebody that's ready to do something immediately, which is very rare, right? She's stacking the top of the funnel for me. She puts that lead into Follow Up Boss along with notes and future tasks. And if you know anything about the CRM, we have it tagged to where every day all I have to do is go in, pull up Helen's tag, and there they are with the notes. I have all the information. 9 times out of 10, the numbers are right, the emails are right, and all of those things. So like Jazz was saying, not only do they get the lead, well, first of all, let me touch back on this too. I've had other ISAs that I tried to train myself. And that just turned into like, I might as well just be doing it at this point because I'm training somebody who's never been in sales, never been on the phone. That's one of the main reasons I liked working with Jasmine's team at Scalable is because I literally don't have to do anything except go into my CRM, the leads there, and then I do what I would normally do on my side. So every day, Helen, the ISA, she goes into the system and she tells me what she's going to be doing that day, at what time she's going to be doing it. Sometimes I'll ask her to do different things. She does different things. Whether it be, I went on vacation. I was 60 or something tasks behind on Follow Up Boss. I asked her yesterday to follow up with those tasks. She did that, and we're here, and this is where we're at. So the ease of the business within the ease of the transition for the lead is what makes it for me more efficient, because I got tired of riding around, like to say go pick up a check, for example, and in the back of my mind I'm thinking, man, I should be prospecting right now. I shouldn't be picking up this check. But now I am. It's just her doing it, on my behalf for those hours during that day.
I love that you just pulled out, that there is some flexibility in this, that it's not rigid in the sense that these are all the things that we're going to do and we'll do nothing else. The fact that Helen's really there to support you, whatever that looks like that day, and it can be fluid. I think it's really important for listeners to understand. Okay, so let's talk about your efforts alongside. So I know that you like to prospect specifically types versus what Helen supports you with. Let's talk about that for a second.
Are you asking like what do I like to prospect versus what she prospects for?
Yeah, what do you own in your business versus what you allow Scalable and Helen to take over?
Oh, I got you. Okay, yeah, I like to do the for sale by owners just because I feel like it's more of a local thing and it's different, and I feel like it helps because I know the area, and then everything else she does. So circle prospecting, we just sold a house for $425,000 over here in Stokesdale that she found. I talked to him like one time and showed up, and it was a listing. She had talked to him like 5 or 6 times, and she even asked me like, why didn't Helen come with you today? It's one of those things. I have clients tell me how sweet she is. I can go down that whole route, but she does everything from circle prospecting to for rent by owners, empty nesters. I call it downsizers. They might call it something else, but pretty much any way we can get them, we're trying to contact those people, because we know that if the first person they speak to 80% of the time, that's who they do business with. And if we're the first ones and then I follow up like a wild man, then we should be good.
Tell me about the long-term game plan. So let's say Helen connects with somebody and they're not looking to make a move for the next few years. What does that look like?
I think that's a great opportunity. Now we got 12 months to 24 months to become their friends and figure out how we can help them. She stacks the top of the funnel, and then I just I take the ones at the bottom and we just nurture them. You can pull up my Follow Up Boss now. Me and Helen have tasks for next November. The lease is going to end at this townhome down here. Like we know whose tenants are leaving. It's almost like the insurance world. We know when their expiration date's coming up.
Yeah, that's cool. I love that. Jasmine, all right. So we understand now exactly what all you do for Cam at Scalable. Tell me about what all you guys do in general, because I know you probably offer things that maybe Cam, it doesn't make sense in his business. Let's talk through that for a second.
So there's a lot of agents who may have an ISA and they're not well trained. So that's something new that we've started recently, is to help some agents who really can't invest yet in having someone consistent inside of their business. So we've been helping them with that. We have agents who come to us who are like, listen, I'm just purchasing the REDX Geo leads and I only want circle prospecting. I don't need anything else. So we can be really specific. The other thing is like open houses, inviting neighbors to open houses, breaking news like calls. That's what I call it, is like, I just sold this listing for 20% over asking. 3 blocks away, are you interested in knowing your market value? So those are the ones we call breaking news calls. We help call people for events. So that's been working really well. Like if they're having an ice cream social, we're calling people in the neighborhood for the ice cream social. So there's no limit to how we can use the data. And the strategy behind it is really what's important. And the agents are the ones that teach us, you know, hey, I need this. Hey, I need that. Can you do this? And we are so flexible. You know, we use your database, we use your list, whatever you have, we want to call because we know we can help, even through recruiting. Like, you know, Cam is a real agent. He may want to recruit soon. We can help with recruitment calls. And the key with us is really what I believe is like our professionalism and the way we train. You're not a freelancing ISA with us. We don't want freelancers. We want people who want to be an ISA. This is a career for you. You have benefits by working with us for the rest until you retire. And so we're a family. And, you know, I went to the Philippines. Like I take care of the team. They take care of our clients. And we're just really excited about what we continue to build.
I love that. I know one of the big things you do that people always need help with is CRM management. And Cam hit on it for a second, just talking about tagging the leads and creating the pipelines. Talk to us about that. What CRMs do you promote for the most part and work with? And then tell me a little bit about that whenever someone comes in and they're like, I have no clue what I'm doing.
Yeah, so a lot of agents, you'd be surprised, don't have a CRM. So one of the things we start with is just use your REDX, right? Just let's start there. And then a lot of agents come with whatever their brokerage has, of course, you know, AB Core, Lofty, Follow-Up Boss, whatever they have. One of the things I find is that they don't set them up. They don't have the time to do it. So we're assisting the agents with the setup and the tagging and the emails. One of the things I want to get better at for agents is being more intentional about emails and the lead type, because they're very generic emails that go out to if you're a seller or a buyer, that's it. And they're templated. That gets boring. So we want to start to be more intentional about the type of emails that are being sent out so the nurturing feels more authentic and personal. Yeah. But yeah, so we could really help with CRM management is a big thing. We just popped the hood on a CRM the other day, 13 appointments came in.
Nice. That's one of my favorite things about your company is that you guys do everything. Like it's kind of like REDX being branded as the FISBO, an expired lead provider, and you guys are branded as an ISA, but you do so much more. I'm always astounded whenever we connect at what you have cooking in the pot, as I would say. You're always expanding and finding new ways to help support agents, whether you're working with them one-on-one like Cam and his business, or you're just, you know, you have other opportunities and things running where you just sell leads in certain markets and other things. So I love that you're constantly innovating and such a visionary as well. Let's talk about one of the terms you often use that I love is commission breath and how this is not for agents with commission breath. Tell me what you mean by that.
Yeah, so a lot of agents will come and they'll say, okay, I need an ISA. How long before my first listing? And I always say, I wish I had a magic ball. One of the things we have to start with is understanding that this data is not an ad. It's not someone raising their hand saying, please call me because I'm looking to sell my house tomorrow. This is random. That's why it's called cold calling and not hot calling. So I have to explain this to agents. It's really important for them to understand we are randomly looking for that needle in the haystack, and we don't have the magic ball to tell you when they're going to sell. They may sell in 12 months, 24 months, or 6 months, or 3 months, or that 20% that may want to sell now. And that's why agents like Cameron, who understand the business and probably scale their business every year by 20, 30%, understand that scaling a business takes time. But it starts with filling your sales pipeline. And that filling your sales pipeline happens in any business. My business, real estate, insurance, everybody needs a pipeline in order to survive. Those who understand filling their pipeline are going to survive. And that is why the numbers are so high. 80 to 90% of business owners fail in their first 5 years because they don't fill their sales pipeline. So that's really one of the things. And then the second piece to this is really the conversion. What we found with some agents is the level of effort, their knowledge, their skill, the attention they put towards converting into a listing is just as important as the consistency and effort of prospecting. So now we're looking into helping agents with a conversion assistant, because that piece starts to fall between the cracks if the follow-up and the nurturing is not intentional and aggressive. So with someone like Cameron, someone's looking to sell a year from now, he's going to tell Helen, hey, every 3 weeks, every 4 weeks, every 6 weeks, I need you to do this, 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 and this, and this. But there's a lot of agents who are like, I have no idea what to do for the follow-up.
Yeah.
So that's where we hope to help soon.
Okay, let's segue perfectly into that then. Let's talk about that. What is the conversion process, Cam? So I know that you do some cool things during that time to just keep in touch and keep in front. What do you do? Birthday cards, anniversary, referral gifts? Tell me about that plan.
Yeah, I mean, so it depends on the lead type and the lead source and the timeline and everything. But yeah, we definitely want to do, if a lead comes in, Helen talks to them, for example, they want to sell their house in 12 months. I talk to them. A lot of times I'll ask them if they want a pretty simple online market analysis, but we also offer a way for them to keep up with their home value over time, and they get emails and they see what else is sold for in the neighborhood. So everybody gets junk mail. Everybody's getting all these spam calls and different things. So we're just trying to, I want my whole business model and angle to be more about how can we be a resource for you? How can we be here to help and answer questions without being a burden to you? And then hopefully build a relationship. Jasmine was talking about follow-up is key and commission breadth and all those things. And I totally agree. But I think that one of the main things is once an agent has felt what's called pipeline maturity, once you've felt that, then it's a little bit easier to continue stacking and stacking, because once you have pipeline maturity, the game seems a little bit easier because you've talked to these people 9 months ago. And not only have you talked to them, you've talked to 40 of them. And so is Helen. So there's a way to stack these things up and follow up, but there's got to be a system and a process. And that's why I'm big on having some sort of CRM, whether it be monthly mailers, quarterly postcards. And I like to keep it pretty laid back. I'll send pictures of me and my wife and my little boy and all that stuff, right? And tell a story like, yeah, T-ball started this year, and all these things. And by the way, you want your home valuation, scan this QR code. But there's a lot of different ways to stay in front of people. But like Jazz said, you got to be intentional and it's got to be consistent, because I even know personally when I fall off, right? If I go a couple weeks and I get lazy, I can see my pipeline gets weaker. So I would just say land, sea, and air, stay in front of people and bring some information to them that, they can't find online.
I love that. You don't wait until they're ready. You stay in front of them consistently, building those relationships. And I love the intentional side of, the family storytelling, where you're also giving them the glimpse of who you are and who they'll be working with. I think that's important. I
try to add everybody on social media. I mean, it's different in different markets. I mean, I'm in North Carolina, right? I'm a small town guy, so things might be a little bit different in different areas. But for me, this has worked in all different businesses too. So
yeah, I love that. I think like you said, the social media side, just giving people a glimpse into who you are, especially in a community like yours, is so powerful for your mission and supporting them whenever they're ready.
But if you don't have nobody to talk to, none of this works. So you got to get people to talk to, and so you got to be saying this to people.
Right. Social media can just go out into the world without anyone viewing it. I love that call out.
Right.
Jazz, let's talk about, what's the next evolution of a lot of businesses. They come to you, let's say we're in Cam's situation where things are going amazing. How can Cam scale beyond what he's currently doing? Is that another ISA? Is that you guys taking over more lead types? Talk to me about that.
Yeah, so it's a numbers game. That's what I see. We have a couple of agents now with 2 ISAs because they just get it. They were like, okay, I'm doing this much with one. What happens when I add the next one? It's just a numbers game. A lot of agents will say, hey, can you add more hours, for instance, to Helen's day? And I say no, because there's burnout. We did research. I was a nurse for 20 years. I'm big on research. 3 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours, and 10-hour days. Any ISA working over 3 hours is just a waste of time. They are not productive. So we only allow 3 hours power of those hours, and get those appointments as fast as you can. And then the follow-up, and just having the accountability structure behind that, but definitely having, more than one ISA. I looked at our GCI for the month of last month, and we made 150,000 in GCI for our agents. And I just thought this makes sense because of the number of ISAs we have, right? So this is just proving that if one agent had a team of 5 ISAs, how much money can he make? It's there, so it just keeps happening in my mind. I'm like, well, why don't these, if you can't afford it, please get your second, please get your third. That should be the goal, is just grow your ISA team so that you can just blow through the roof and make that 150 a month that we just made for our clients. Because it's possible. It's there. We see it.
Mm-hmm. And that's actually one of my goals too. I didn't mean to cut you off, Hannah, but I would honestly, and this is going, I don't want to sound lazy or anything, but I would love that to get to the point to where I didn't have to do the $120 a day, right? I'm not going to sit here and say it's fun. Like anybody who says it's fun, it's not fun. But I've done it for years, and you just got to do it. It's part of the business. But I would love for the day to come to where I'm just like, hey, Jazz, take my money, give me 5 of your trained up people who are experienced, and let me follow up with the ones that are hot, and the rest of them we just nurture forever. And I think that's where this is heading at some point. And I do agree with Jazz. If they're doing 150 a month, I'll be cool with 50 a month, and we can just take it from there. So how many do I need?
That's what I mean. Like, it's just a strategy. It's looking. That's exactly how I built my business, right? From zero. I had 1 VA, and we scaled to 70 something. But because I kept just watching, as one got busier, the next one came in. You got busy, the next one came in. And one thing I did was, of course, as a business owner, you got to give up your money. So I had to give it up. But at some point, it just doubled for me, right? So you just keep going. And I see it all the time. And I just pray that agents see the vision is just having more than one. That's all it is, because it's numbers. If she can call 200 leads a day, now you're calling 400 a day. So it's just doubling the number of calls, and more people will pick up, more conversations, organize the funnel, organize the follow-up. The listings are going to drop. Michaela Sims just started with us a month ago. She's on listing number 3 as of this morning.
Nice.
It's possible, so I'm just excited to get the word out at the Tom Ferry Summit in Anaheim next week.
Oh, nice. Congratulations on that.
That's going to be awesome. Cam, let's segue for a second. I know that part of maybe scaling for you was probably part of your decision to go with Real Brokerage. Talk to me about that for a second. What really made that shift for you in your business?
I mean, I've been at some great places. Don't get me wrong. I've learned from a lot of good mentors, and I was on a team for a while, and I alluded to that earlier. And the team leader's still a good friend of mine. He taught me how to flip homes. He taught me how to, buy and hold and all these things. And I appreciate that. So I was there. And then I thought, well, I kind of want to go and do my own thing. So I went to Berkshire Hathaway. I was kind of recruited to go over there. And I liked it. They were great people. They sell a ton of homes out of that office. I was around a lot of heavy hitters. They were great to me. But really, I just couldn't see giving a brokerage, no offense, much more commission than I'm already giving them. And they were giving me a lot too. I just didn't see it I guess I just didn't see it in my bank account for what I was paying them. And I always knew that I would end up being, a real brokerage type of person, right? I don't really need somebody to tell me what to do. There's a lot of support with like the cloud-based brokerage. And the most important thing is I keep almost all my money. And once they make $12,000, I cap. I've been with Real Brokerage for 2 months, and in two deals from now, I won't owe them a penny for the rest of the entire year. So I look back at that, and for me, it was a financial decision, and it was also kind of I think they're edgy. I think it's new. I think the business is changing. I think things are always going to be improving, whether it be tech or different things. And then also, I like to lead. I like to help people, and I've done this in real estate for years for free for many years, and now I can get paid from the company. It doesn't come out of the agent's pockets whatsoever, to help people the same way that I would help them before. And just in a little bit of time that I've been here, I got 2 agents that work with me. One of them's a little bit experienced. One of them's brand spanking new. And the one that's brand spanking new just got a check for $17,550 last month.
That's
So,
awesome.
and he's never done a real estate deal in his entire life. And I walked him through it. We played golf together the other day. He's like, Cam, I don't know what I've been doing, but this is where I need to be. And I appreciate you helping me. So it gives me a chance to give back, and it gives me a way to make a little bit of money on the side while helping people. And the transition was super easy too.
Are you going to be moving into agent attraction with some of your game plans soon?
I don't know. Maybe. I mean, I don't really want to be that guy around town that's chasing people. I feel like people know who I am. I know every cashier at every gas station in this county. And I feel like if they want to come to the winner's circle, they'll come. And if not, then that's perfectly fine. I just want to continue doing what I'm doing. And of course I want to help agents, but I don't want everybody. I want people who want to grow. I want people who want to work a system and a process that's proven and repeatable. And I want people to come on, learn the ISA role, and then they get their own ISA. Because I think there's enough business out there for everybody.
Absolutely. I love that. All right, let's run through some key lessons from this conversation. One of the things you just hit on, like if you're a new agent, you don't have to figure it out alone. There are people like Cam and Jazz that can help you do this. Depending on where you are mentally, in your game plan, whether you're brand new and you need a mentor, or you've been doing this one for a while and you're ready to scale, both of these individuals are great options. I think to reach out to. Cam is very open about his journey and sharing and supporting other agents. So I think he's very open if somebody wanted to reach out and connect. And then I know Jazz is all about helping agents scale. Literally her business is named Scalable for a reason. That's exactly what she does. I love that her background as a nurse has brought her here, because really what she does best is support and serve others, help them succeed and thrive. So Jazz, we're really grateful for the space that you hold in our industry and what you do to support agents, especially our own clients here at REDX.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It's really exciting to work with agents and really see them scale and grow their businesses based on what we got started here at Scalable. And I just want to say that, I always tell our ISAs that I will never record without mentioning them, because they are the backbone of this business. If it wasn't for Helen, we wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Love that. All right, closing questions right quick. Cam, if you could give one piece of advice to an agent who wants to stop chasing buyers and start building a listing business, what would it be?
I would say you have to have people to talk to, so you have to have the data, right? You can get the data from all over the place. There's lots of different places. I've tried them all. If I'm going to sit down and make $120, I would like to at least know that a lot of the information, the data that I'm calling is correct. So first of all, you got to find that. Then I think you got to have some sort of script, some sort of training, some sort of process and a system. And then the most important thing is you just got to do it. Don't overthink it. A lot of people are scared to get on the phone. Rarely does anybody ever say anything rude to me. I just think you got to get on the phone, cut out all the noise, get away from the shiny objects and the inbound leads and all this stuff, and just get on the phone and start talking to people who want to sell their house at some point. And then there's going to come a time where you do that the right way, and you're probably going to be in the position that I was in, and then you get an ISA. But I think it all starts from just sitting down, being consistent, have a system and a follow-up process. And if you don't want to make cold calls, that's fine. But you better go to every open house every weekend and door knock the neighborhood. And if you don't want to do that, then this might not be the industry for you. But I would just say that you just got to follow up with people, be consistent, and have a system and work that system daily.
Fair enough. I love that. Jazz, what separates agents who build massive pipelines from the ones who just quit after a few weeks?
I always say it's the true business mindset. It's a business owner. It's someone who understands that freedom is the ultimate goal. It's not always finances. It's really spending time with your loved ones. And that's really what this is. At the end of the day, when you look at the goal here, the goal is to scale your business, to create more freedom in your life. And so that's really where I come from, is helping agents scale their business, yes, but also to help them free up time to be with the people they love most. That's really why I did it, why I went from being a nurse to starting this company, is to free up time to be as a single mom with my kids. And that's what I want for agents as well. And I love when we even get new agents. I've gotten agents that haven't had one transaction just say, you know what, I'm all in and I believe in myself. And at the end of the day, It's about the belief you have in yourself. And if you know you're going to get up and work hard, the sky is the limit, and we're here to help.
Jasmine just said the number one thing that I haven't even brought up: freedom. I was thinking about this yesterday. Actually, I started to make a post on social media. I was going to say, PSA realtors, you can be a great realtor and have a life. And then I started thinking, the only reason I have that is because I have an ISA. I used to feel so guilty about, going to play golf on a Wednesday morning with friends or something, right? I used to feel so guilty about it's 5:30 and me and my little boys in the pool on a Tuesday, and I should be inside calling. But now I don't feel guilty about that because I am working at the same time that I'm doing things with my son and my wife and friends and everything else, because it's still hard for me because I'm so used to having to do it all myself. So I'm like, sometimes I tell myself, like, man, you got to get your ass to work. Then I realize, I have been working. Helen's been on the phone for 2 hours. So I gotta remember those things. But Jazz, thanks for bringing that up, because that is actually the most important thing and the most important reason that I did hire an ISA was for time freedom.
That's powerful right there. Success isn't just about having good data. It's about having a complete system that turns the data into relationships and relationships into listings for freedom, for time back, to grow your own personal relationships and what matters most to you. I think that is a huge lesson out of this podcast is just the thought that at the end of the day, you can have everything, but if you don't have the things that matter most in life, what was it worth? I think that's like the age-old tale of all things. But Jazz, as always, thank you. This was a pleasure. Thanks for joining us and jumping on, talking more about your business. And then Cam, this was great. I really appreciate your insight and vulnerability, talking about freedom and just your journey with us. How you're always, we chatted before and talked about how you want to take out a new lead type. And I think that drive, it really shows in your business as well as what you articulated today on the podcast. So thank you both for joining us. I'm grateful for your time. Any closing thoughts before we go?
No, I'm just excited to continue to, help agents, thanks to REDX specifically, because without your data, we wouldn't be able to be us. And one of the things that agents come to us with is no data. And they ask us, who can help? Like, where do we get this information? And sometimes I'm surprised that they don't know about REDX, or their broker didn't tell them to, get a subscription, get your leads from REDX. So I'm really grateful to you as well, Hannah, and to you, Cam, for always choosing us and being such a true partner in this, so that we can help get the word out. Because without you, Cam, converting our appointments, we can't be me and I can't shine. So we need agents like you who can really convert and care about their business as much as we care about it. Sometimes we care more about an agent's business than they do. So I really love the fact that Cam is appreciative, takes his appointments, converts them, and we get the good news.
Yeah. And I'll just leave on closing thoughts from the agent's perspective. It's like, if you're a new agent, or if you've been in the game for a long time and you've never had an ISA, you may look at Scalable as like, wow, this is a lot to take on here. This is a big transition. And this seems like it's going to be a huge time suck, when honestly, it's not at all. The transition to move from brokerage to brokerage is way harder than hiring Scalable. They plug in. They're ready to go. Jazz's team is trained up, and there's also a staff behind there too. So not trying to sell Scalable, but I think it's pretty easy. I mean, if you're watching this right now, just talk to her. As long as you're not in my market, talk to her, and we're good to go. That's how good it is. Don't come in my market. No, I'm just joking, kind of. But thank y'all. I appreciate both of you.
Jasmine, how can agents get in touch with you?
So the best way is either on Instagram, or scalable_ISA, or my email is Jasmine with an E at the end at scalable-usa.com.
Perfect. Thank you both for joining us. I know I'll see you both soon.